No, I was just going to show you where I've been standing. It's been about, I am, it's been gold. 11 line with the Emperor and with the King, about perfect. Although, I mean, it would work for the individual, obviously individual numbers. But it just really like the, right, this is more full face. And it's helped that I haven't been in the tower and people here. And the, yeah, the president slash vice chancellor has been nicely turning towards me. You're like the first, and then he's facing forward, and she's about to kind of hop this chair and pick it up around the people fumble all over themselves as they reach their hand out to each other. And then they retreated, and then he reached his hand out very invitingly, and then the governor
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the academic procession and the Chancellor.
I declare that the 618th Convocation of McMaster University for the conferring of degrees is now in session.
Please be seated. Good afternoon and welcome. I am Dr. Susan Tai, and I have the privilege of serving as McMaster University's Provost and Vice President Academic. This afternoon, I also have the great pleasure of serving as your Master of Ceremonies and of welcoming all of you, graduates and guests, to this convocation ceremony. On behalf of the university, I would like to recognize and acknowledge that we meet today on the traditional territories of the Mississauga and Haudenosaunee nations and within the lands protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement. We must remember that we all have a role in upholding the spirit of this agreement, which urged for peaceful sharing of Earth's resources. We must also not forget that merely acknowledging our presence on these traditional lands is only a small step on our shared path to reconciliation. I challenge you to consider how we can foster reconciliation among the many peoples that inhabit these lands. I would like to start today's proceedings by acknowledging some of the notable leaders joining me on stage today. Our Chancellor, Ms. Santee Smith, President and Vice Chancellor, Dr. David Farrar, President and CEO, Mohawk College, Dr. Ron McCurley, Vice Provost and Dean of Graduate Studies, Dr. Doug Welsh, Vice Provost Faculty, Dr. Kim Dye, Dean, Faculty of Science, Dr. Maureen McDonald, Dean, School of Health and Community Services, Mohawk College, Ms. Wendy Lawson, Associate and Assistant Deans, Chairs, McMaster and Mohawk faculty members, and honored guests. Before we start our formal program, I would please ask you to turn off any electronic devices that you have with you today. We don't want any unexpected calls during the ceremony. I would like to now call upon our Chancellor, Ms. Santee Smith, to deliver the Thanksgiving address and to make her welcoming remarks.
Yahweh, thank you, Provost Tai. Sego, Sewagwego, greetings, everyone. I'm happy to be here in the celebration with you. Watkwinuwalado, welcome, honored guests, staff, families, friends, colleagues, and faculty from McMaster University and Mohawk College. And most importantly, graduates. Before we begin, I would like to say the words before all else, also known as the Thanksgiving Address in Gaingeha, the Mohawk language. Se watahosios ne gat ne galiwesa, ne ona ne angalihohetste ne ganawala donsula. These are words of thanksgiving that aim to bring our hearts and minds together to acknowledge, give thanks, affirm our interconnections and interdependence, to cultivate compassion and kindness, and to recognize our responsibilities for sustaining and maintaining this delicate balance, and to live in peace with all creation. It's also a time that we might think about people who are sick, who are injured, who are hurting, that these words bring them peace and calm to their hearts. Daetinuwalaro ne ongwe sua, eto na yontohage ne nagwat ngula. We give greetings and gratitude to the people, our ancestors, our family and friends, all nations. So be it in our minds. Daetinuwalaro ne yetini stoha johonjade eto na yontohage ne nagwat ngula. We give gratitude and thanks to our Mother Earth, for she provides us with everything that we need to survive and thrive. So be it in our minds. Daiti nuwalado ne ganega lunyo, eto nayonteke ne naguat nigula. We give thanks and acknowledgement to the waters, from the oceans to the streams, to the waters flowing in our bodies. Water is life, so be it in our minds. Daiti nuwalado ne gongjunk su'a, eto nayonto hage ne naguat nigula. We give thanks to the fish life, who provide us with nourishment and purify the waters, so be it in our minds. Daiti nuwalado ne yotunduni, eto nayonto hage ne naguat nigula. We give our gratitude and greetings to the plant world, from the grasses to the medicines, which help to purify and strengthen our bodies. So be it in our minds. Daiti nuwalado ne otji noasua, eto nayonto hage ne naguat nigula. We give our greetings and acknowledgement to the insects who help to pollinate the plants. So be it in our minds. Daiti nuwalado ne jonhekwa, eto nayonto hage ne naguat nigula. We give our greetings to our sustenance foods. So be it in our minds. Daiti nuwalado ne wa yariyunta, eto nayonto hage ne naguat nigula. We give greetings and acknowledgement to the fruit life, who help to nourish our bodies. So be it in our minds. Daiti nuwalado ne gonjirlo, eto nayonto hage ne naguat nigula. We give thanks to all of the animals, some who sacrifice their lives for our nourishment and sustenance, and who are our teachers. So be it in our minds. Daiti nuwalado ne zito ongua, eto nayonto hage ne naguat nigula. We give greetings and thanks to the birds whose beautiful singing uplift our spirits and bring peace and calm to our hearts. So be it in our minds. Daiti nuwalado ne galunda ongua, eto nayonto hage ne naguat nigula. We give thanks to all of the trees. We cannot live without the oxygen that they provide us. Their roots and sap provide nourishment and strengthening for our bodies. So be it in our minds. Daiti nuwalado ne zower la warnier, eto nayonto hage ne naguat nigula. We give acknowledgement and gratitude towards the circulating winds that travel the earth, bringing new breath and new life. So be it in our minds. Daiti nuwalado ne ladiwerlas, eto nayonto hage ne naguat nigula. We give greetings and acknowledgement to the grandfather thunderers who we heard coming in today, who help to purify the air, to awaken the earth, and to awaken us. So be it in our minds. Tatsi tawanuwalaro ne anjangeni galakwa, eto nayonto hage ne naguat nigula. We give our greetings and acknowledgement to eldest brother sun, who appears each morning consistently to provide us with sunshine, protection, and sustenance for all living things. So be it in our minds. Daiti nuwalaro ne asatanega wat nirale, eto nayonto hage ne naguat nigula. We give thanks and acknowledgement to Grandmother Moon for her powerful pull on our waters, connection to women and to birth. So be it in our minds. Daiti nuwalaro ne yotzi sto uarlunyo, eto nayonto hage ne naguat nigula. We give thanks to the stars, to the cosmos, for providing us with guidance and direction. So be it in our minds. Daiti nuwalaro ne deyonkiyaradan, eto nayonto hage ne naguat nigula. We give greetings and thanks to our protectors, our spiritual guardians, who provide clarity of mind and peace in our hearts. So be it in our mind. Tatsi tawanuwalaro ne sungwayan deso, eto nayonto hage ne naguat nigula. We give thanks to creation, the Great Spirit, the creative energy that lives in everything, in everywhere, and in all of us. So be it in our minds. Ta eto ni gawanage, ta eto. Nyawe, thank you for listening to those words. I learned this shortened Thanksgiving address from Dehahande Miller. And the aim of those words are to unify our minds and our hearts in humble acknowledgement in our place in the immensity of the creative living universe, of which human beings are a very small part. If I was to say the whole address, it would last the whole day, so I don't think we have that amount of time. It provides us with daily context to our interdependence and our interconnections, and most importantly, our responsibilities as custodians of the earth to uphold this balance with care and gratitude. So we are grateful today to be here in this room, in the energy of this space, in acknowledgement and celebration of all the graduates' achievements, especially during these challenging times. As I would like to acknowledge as well all of the people who supported the graduates, stood behind you, and in many cases played a key role in you being here today. You have achieved a great deal for which you should be very proud. I wish you all the success, and I look forward to what you do in the future. Please enjoy the ceremony. Yahweh. Thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor Smith. I would now like to introduce the Dean of Science, Dr. Maureen McDonald, to make her own welcoming remarks.
Welcome, McMaster Science graduates, class of 2022. Today, we are going to begin with one final pop quiz. I hope you're all ready. We're going to be using a new version of proctoring software during that quiz today, in which your Convocation guests will give you a mark they'll be evaluating based on how large your smile is as you walk across the stage today. We are expecting all of you to get 100% in this quiz. You've already heard it many times today, and I want to echo it. Congratulations. We are so very proud of you. I encourage you to slow down during the ceremony and during the rest of the day to ensure that you are enjoying the moments. And remember that while we are all here to celebrate you today, we don't climb mountains so that the world can see us, but so that we can see the world. So make sure that you are looking left and right, perhaps not as you're walking across the stage, focus on getting straight across, and look all around at what the world is waiting for you and how we're looking to support and cheer you on. The Science Honorary Degree recipient this morning had a very profound message that I want to share with you this afternoon. He said in his experience, people you encounter in your career can be categorized as either friends or colleagues. We primarily value colleagues because of what they know, and we value friends because they care. One interesting thing is that we only tend to seek out people for what they know when we know that they care. Life is about people, caring about them and letting them see that you care. And in that space, you will open the world to what you have learned in the Faculty of Science at McMaster University if you go forth and think about showing how much you care. Please enjoy today and go forth with my congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean McDonald. I would now like to welcome Dr. David Farrar, President and Vice Chancellor of McMaster University, to the podium to present the graduates to our Chancellor for admission to their degrees.
Will the graduands please stand? This is when they turn the lights up and we get to see you all. Madam Chancellor, on behalf of McMaster University Senate, I present to you these candidates and those in absentia, in order that you may confer the appropriate degree upon them, and I bear witness that they are worthy and suitable.
Graduands, by my authority and that of the McMaster University Senate, I have the great pleasure to admit those before me today and those in absentia to their individual degrees at McMaster University, with all the rights and privileges pertaining to those degrees. My sincere congratulations to you all. Please be seated.
Graduates, I would now ask that each of you join me on stage so the Chancellor and I may welcome you to the McMaster community of scholars. I would be delighted to shake your hand or bump your fist or touch elbows or to acknowledge your accomplishments without touching. Our Chancellor will acknowledge your accomplishments without touching. Congratulations.
Honored guests, so that each graduate's name may be heard, it would be appreciated if during the presentation of the graduates, you would hold your collective applause to the end of each degree category. Thank you. Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Doctor of Philosophy. Monica de Paoli. Robert Tien Bui. Oscar Alejandro Herrera Cortez. Peter Chengwei Ho. Dipankar Saha. Mehmet Koskun. Jian Li Ma. Lily Zhang.
Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Master of Science. Hebatala Mohammed. Birang Derakshan. Elizabeth Catherine O'Meara. Ruyu Sun. Chad Alexander Turner. Oluwa Koredi Adegboye. Rui Tsao. Ismat Binta Islam. Yuan Zhang. Kyusun Lim. Jinny Xu. Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Bachelor of Science Honours. Moro Lau Lulua Inua Lulua Edenagu. Ayonatemi Yesutemi Ajahi. Gabriela Michaela Alfonsi. Matthew Amato. Elsie Apiage. Kristen Patricia Arnold. Spencer Henry Killaran Arshinov. Vishal Badam. Gabriel Eric Baloga. Nigar Baluchistani Asli. Ubadullah Ahmed Baria. Nadine Beganovic. Amelia Grace Bell. Timothy Joseph Bergstrom. Mandev Singh Bula. Justin Bleiweiss. Paula Christina Bosca. Emma Rose Bottomley. Shannon Viola Buck. Daniel Budnitsky. Cameron James William Burns. Chantel Maria Castellino. Michael Bradley Selejewski. Darren Khalita Orozco. Ruilin Chen. Shilei Chen. Yilin Chen. Yinua Chen. Hani Chiragbai Choksi. Bonichi Lam Chong. Hunter Bruce Clark. Ryan Jonathan DeMoss. Joseph William de Jager. Sydney Nicole DeLeap. Grace Ann Dollywall. Danielle Diane Dineen. Daniel Adam Dobrovolsky. Ho Chen Dong. Yijun Dong. Rachel Alana Faber. Cheng Huiling Feng. Margot Ann Ferguson. Nitara Arushi Fernando. Thomas John Flynn. Anyi Fu. Grace Jane Geber. Jianing Gao. Mengxi Gao. Shuya Gao. Paola Maria Gentilotti. Curtis Charles Gibson. Dana Christiana Green Campbell. Guanlin Guo. Jian Guo. Mimi Shu Han. Laraib Haq. Mahira Hassan. Guillaume Antoine Steinmetz Hewitt. Leah Hong. Grace Jung Chui Horseman. Daniel Khrabovi. Wayne Huang. Yishi Huang. Khalil Hussein. Ahmed Ibrahim. Catherine Ann Jameson. Abana Jivahan. Geetha Jaya Praga San. Boming Jing. Dudu Jin. Mithel Yetendra Kale. Krista Jean Castor. Jeyun Kim. Thomas Anthony Kirby. Oswald Klimi. Leah Christine Klompmacher. Michelle Kulashova. Stephanie Regina Koza. Veronica Elaine Kokiyan. Lily Elizabeth Kuruch. Christian James Quetchen Delaney. Jonathan Lai. Yui Sun Marvik Lee. Jianing Li. Yue Li. Yui Chang Li. Biyang Lian. Yifeng Liang. Xingnu Liao. Xian Lin. Hao Liu. Yi Chun Liu. Yaneta Lucic. Telmach Luca. Hugo da Costa Lopez. Dean Dimitri Luizas. Tommy Lu. Samin Josephine Lu Sullivan. Dan Andre Lukachu Chifu. Hao Yang Lu. Jason Ma. Jennifer Ma. Helen Elizabeth McDougall Shackleton. Arjun Sujit Majitha. Yusra Mahmoud Marfatia. Mariana Lisbeth Marilis Torres. Rita Marcus. Natasha Matijevich. Sarah Elizabeth Mavor. Alexander Watson McGrath Santovsky. Isabella Mendoza Montalegre. Yuanxi Meng. Ariana Mackenzie Mitchell. Maya Ray Marshmont Moore. Gida Murtada. Joshua Michael Malloy. Jashin Ni. Ja Ni. Mara Louise Nush. Cassandra Rose Newell. Nicholas Campbell Orr. Yat Hang Pao. Ravi Patel. Selvi Patel. Bao Yi Peng. Huyen Pham Nguyen. Ariel Marilyn Pilateri. Alexander George Plieva. Jacqueline Grace Ragosnik. Maya Ashwari Rajasingam. Yashish Rana. Regolan Radhakrishnan. Arjun Rego. Julia Rayman. Baide Ren. Matthew Roan. Will Alexander Roderick. Andrew Wrong. Nicholas Michael Ruentis. Ashlyn Katrina Roy. Sammy George Saba. Gorleen Kaur Sandhu. Spencer Joseph Seguin. Mia Durga Sharma. Yuan Tao Sheng. Julia Ann Singer. Ursula Sitas. Abira Sivaraja. Nicholas Robert Skalyin. Danyang Song. Jeyu Song. Juo Lung Song. Zeroe Song. Jonathan Daniel Spence. Arthur Srayedin. Shamega Shrishkantra Raja. Max Philip St. Pierre. Christopher Barrett Stavnitsky. Mina Stefanovic. Evelyn Kimi Sun. Lung Yue Sun. Keshika Suthaharan. Zahira Hina Tahir. Sai Shripada Thalapali. Lushika Thana Balachan Dandran. Wei Xion Tian. Mildred Tong. Aidan Alexander Torrance. Darren Hao Nam Tran. Lisa Du Tran. Isla Noel Turka. Alexander Ungabayev. Kiara Rose Madeline Valliere. Melanie Ann Vanderpoel. Matteo Vandramini. Hao Lin Wang. Siming Wang. Siting Wang. Xiang Yi Wang. Yi Ying Wang. Jessica Lee Wassons. Sarah Ann Elizabeth Watson. Alvin Ho Won Yong Wong. Nicole Faith Wong. Sammy Wong. Han Xie. Xiuye Xie. Run Feng Shu. Jing Yi Yan. Shi Yu Yang. Grace Yao. Zhixiao Yan Yin. Santosh Yogeswaran. Mei Lin Yu. Shi Yu. Shangwen Yu. Tai Lai Yuan. Yize Yuan. Xingje Zheng. Ohan Zhang. Bide Zhang. Junkong Zhang. Keijin Zhang. Lechen Zhang. Ruijia Zhang. Shunshun Zhang. Xu Zhang. Yan Ning Zhang. Yiran Zhang. Xueji Zhao. Yi Zhao. Zixuan Zhao. Junyuan Zhu. Andrea Zito. Yes, please. Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Bachelor of Science. Ian Michael Francis. Jingguang Huang. Saiprashani Jayandran. Jerry Kunturis. Jen Lei. Keyang Mei. Julia Maria Schuster. Martin Lore Nevalga Tahamid. Pramak Utha Wakwela. Ryan Wei Hong Wu. Sihan Zhou. Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Bachelor of Medical Radiation Sciences. Sonia Maria Agarwal. Manuela Ampofo. Akrabi Bakerathan. Brooke Lauren Bartlett. Muskan Inda Kaur Basra. Anne Basta. Oksana Bondarenko. Megan Leanne Brito. Victoria Carmen Chang. Kelly Chow. Jiwan Choi. Julia Renee Chilio. Hannah Constantino. Ashlyn Nixon Corrigan. Savannah Dye. Rima Diab. Kaylin Carolyn Emsley. Paul Ochuko Esemi Azewu. Paige Harding Faith. Sarah Mary Constance Farouja. Nabiha Farouk. Sarah Fu. Avneet Gill. Rama Ahmed Hashem. Brooklyn Marie Hicks. Winona Ho. Carla Marie Ebe. Sarah Jackson. Jenna Lynn Jarvis. Muna Kassab. Mariam Khan. Jaeun Kim. Yena Kim. Phoebe La. Shannon Lau. Peyton Amber Learn. Raghat Mahaini. Josephine Mai. Herkit Kaur Man. Nicole Emily Melnichuk. Michaela Page Minkin. Courtney Miro. Christine Ng. Annie Nguyen. Shai Tong New. Justin Andrew Kwaku Ntamor. Tristan Oliveira. Shreya Sai Papu. Katha Patel. Parita Patel. Shushtiben Rajesh Kumar Patel. Summer Mackenzie Pauls. Vivian Tui Pan. Hajra Rashid. Rachel Lynn Reeves. Hannah Jade Marie Sawyer. Alicia Lee Smythe. Janessa Catherine Sparks. Brianna Gabriela Stefanizzi. Jia Ying Sun. Esri Lynn Spatzentruber. Tanya Marie Taras. Brooke Nicole Terovich. Aruba Famena. Fatima Wahid. John Lee Wang. Sarah Wei. Li Peng Yu. Winnie Yong Xin Yu. Jin Wen Zhang. Helen Zhou.
Well done. Let's give them one more round of applause. We got a live crowd this afternoon. I would now like to introduce Ms. Nicole Wong, a graduate of the degree Bachelor of Science Honors in Chemical Biology Co-op program, who will be delivering the valedictorian address.
To Chancellor Santi Smith, President and Vice Chancellor Dr. David Farrar, Dean of Science Dr. Maureen McDonald, distinguished faculty from McMaster University and Mohawk College, dear friends, family, and fellow graduates. Good afternoon. I am honored to deliver the valedictorian address during the 2022 Convocation ceremony for the Faculty of Science. Many of us are told from a young age that we have the potential to change the world. When an adult says that to you, they mean it to be uplifting and inspiring, which in many ways it is. But when I was first told that before starting university, I was terrified. What I heard was, my job is to change the world. Sounds absolutely insane, right? It's my job, one lone girl, to solve every issue known to humanity in the span of a normal human lifetime, while also becoming so successful that Lin-Manuel Miranda eventually writes a musical about my life. You know, no pressure. However, when I arrived at McMaster, I found that this school has a remedy for this overwhelming feeling: community. Community is the balm which soothes the pain of hyper-individualist thinking, preventing you from stranding yourself in a sea of self-involvement and instead connecting you with others. For some, community is a group of people they know they can turn to, and to others, it's the broader feeling of many individuals invested in a similar journey and purpose, such as to receive an education and contribute to the world. As I became further involved here at McMaster, I came to learn that the community I loved was not formed out of thin air, but instead was built entirely on the shoulders of students. Some of you may be thinking that you had no role in this, but I am here to tell you that's not true. Actions that may feel small, like helping a lost student find their lecture hall or supporting a friend through a hard midterm, are in fact critical in building a supportive community when performed en masse. And knowing how amazing you all are, I am confident in saying that each and every one of this year's graduates have done something to inspire the next generation of McMaster students, no matter how big or small the feat. Interestingly enough, I don't think community gets enough credit for the important role it plays in our university experience. Not to get all joker on you, don't worry, I won't do the impression, but we live in a society which is quick to highlight individual achievement over group contribution. And yet, when the pandemic hit, we were not reminiscing on lost opportunities for individual achievement, but instead lamented the group experiences that were no longer feasible. Thanks to modern technology, online communities surfaced in their wake, allowing us to fill that void with a new kind of human connection. If you're like me, you spent the last 2 years realizing that young people use Discord now instead of Slack and Facebook, and slowly spiraled about how old you were becoming. If your community wasn't on campus, maybe you found it in other areas of your life. Maybe you reconnected with old high school friends, or perhaps you and your significant other pushed through your journeys concurrently, and now you're both graduating together today. The power of community is further underscored by how many chose to come back as legacy graduates, wanting to see their friends face to face one last time. Wherever you found it, it just shows how much of a role other people play in making your life worth living. I want to also acknowledge that the years of work from student groups in building a more equitable and diverse campus environment has been key for many in finding a community. There is still a lot more work to be done for university to be an accessible and inclusive experience for all, and I echo the call from students for the university to confront its barriers head on, allowing more students to be their authentic self in a safe space. Now, you may be thinking, Nicole, why is it so important to highlight the role of community? You've mentioned it so many times that this speech could be promotional B-roll for the admissions office. Because by identifying what makes McMaster so special, you hold the secret ingredient to continuing your growth beyond campus. Think about it. McMaster was not only a space to participate in shared experiences, but also allowed you to build and refine your identity, something made possible by this community's support. Now that we're all off to different corners of the world, it can be daunting to consider what comes next. Maybe you're traveling alone to a new country, starting a new job in the city, or haven't even decided on the path you want to take yet. Whatever the case, my advice to you is to find a community wherever you go. With a community behind you, you can take new risks and try new ideas, knowing there will be people ready to embrace you in success or failure. If nobody has told you this yet, let me be the first. You are ready to graduate. We have experienced everything that this university could throw at us and succeeded despite the circumstances. However, this is not the end of your journey, but merely the beginning of something new. And I cannot wait for you all to come face to face with your next endeavor. The best part is that if you take my advice, odds are you won't be doing it alone, but instead with a community of people just as ready to change the world as you are. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. May I again call upon our president, Dr. David Farrar, who will now present the President's Award for Outstanding Contributions to Teaching and Learning.
Will Dr. Sarah Simmons please come forward? The President's Award for Outstanding Contributions to Teaching and Learning is granted to those educators who, through innovation and commitment, have significantly enhanced the quality of their students' learning experience. It is my pleasure to present the President's Award for Outstanding Contributions to Teaching and Learning to Dr. Sarah Simmons. Congratulations, Sarah. Thank you.
Congratulations, Dr. Simmons. May I now introduce Ms. Saruja Nataraja, a graduate from the Bachelor of Science Honors Class of 2018 and a representative of the McMaster Alumni Association, to come and present the Alumni Association address.
Chancellor Smith, President Farrar, award winners, honorees, faculty, fellow alumni, guests, and especially members of the McMaster class of 2022. It almost feels like a lifetime ago since I walked across this very stage, but really, it hasn't been that long since I was sitting in your very seat. More than once, in fact. When I was an undergraduate student, my friends and I had a pact that each of us would attend each other's convocation ceremonies. As each of my friends graduated in different years from varying faculties, somehow, by the time I graduated, I had sat through a total of 6 McMaster convocations. I know what you're all thinking. We all make some misguided choices in our youth. And yet, here I am again, not because of a pact, but amidst all of those long hours of long-winded speeches, such as this one, I have come to appreciate the great honor that comes with getting to witness the milestone that Convocation represents for many of you, especially perhaps for those like me that were the first of their family to pursue a post-secondary education. A few years or a few decades from now, your memories of McMaster may be dominated by friendships, by extracurricular activities, or perhaps by academic experiences that sent you on a particular path. For this class specifically, the pandemic could play a central role in your memories, or it may become a footnote. Regardless, there's fairly a good chance that significant parts of your time at Mac will become what we often call the good old days. For me, that often includes memories of my valiant efforts to make Thode Library into a luxury 5-star hotel during exams, or convincing myself that the $3 late-night Gino's Pizza and breakfast special from Pancake House was the best meal I've ever had. But on this topic, I defer to the wisdom of Andy Bernard of the Dunder Mifflin Paper Company, who said, "I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them." Regardless of the specific MAC memories that stick with you, regardless of how your student experiences influences your life, I hope a part of McMaster stays with you. In fact, I know it will. While I don't know much about who you were before coming to McMaster, I did get to see a glimpse of who you are leaving as you cross the stage. And I take comfort in knowing that the years you spent within the community has left a deep imprint, one that will serve as a guidepost in everything you do hereafter. Our job at the McMaster Alumni Association is to give you a variety of ways to connect your present to the best parts of your McMaster past. As new grads, you become members of MAC 10, which supports alumni in their first couple years after graduation. Whether you're looking for support getting that first job or navigating the next steps in your career, the Alumni Association offers resources, events, programs, and even an alumni counselor. And as you begin to adult, we connect you to rates on home and auto insurance or health and dental coverage, or even social events where we collectively reminisce about the good old days at MAC. And even if your path takes you away from Hamilton, whether that's to other Canadian cities or international destinations around the world, you can take comfort in the fact that you will never be alone, as there will always be McMaster alumni connections to be made. Just keep your contact information up to date, and we'll make sure to let you know about all those events where you can connect with MAC alumni. Of course, there's also a never-ending stream of events, networking opportunities, or programming that you can access online anywhere around the world. When you leave Convocation today, I know my speech will not be the most powerful memory you have, but hopefully some echo of it will linger in the back of your mind when you're ready to want to connect with the university again. When that day comes, 2 weeks or 20 years from now, we'll be here. Members of the McMaster class of 2022, congratulations on your convocation. We are proud to welcome you to the McMaster Alumni Association family.
Thank you, Sharuja. May I invite our President and Vice Chancellor, Dr. David Farrar, back to the podium to deliver the President's address.
Chancellor Santi Smith, distinguished guests, award winners, faculty members of the McMaster community, members of the graduating class of 2022, friends and family. It is really good to see you here today in person, not in a small square on a small screen. For 2 years, we have had an unwelcome guest in our lives, a global pandemic that has reminded us how fragile our lives really are and how much we need each other. Members of the graduating class, for 2 years, you have worked through the isolation, disruption, and possibly even health challenges and personal losses created by COVID-19. In spite of the formidable challenges for completing your degree, you persisted. So let me congratulate each and every one of you on your ability to adapt, thrive, and succeed. As you graduate from McMaster today, you have an opportunity to choose a vision for your own future and a vision for our planet. The question is, what will you do with that choice, that freedom, that power? Undoubtedly, the last 2 years have given you the opportunity to reflect on what really matters to you and what your next steps might be. Today, we find ourselves facing not only a global pandemic, but an alarming decline in the strength of our democratic institutions, the acceleration of the negative effects of climate change, an increasing gap in wealth between classes, and the possibility of widening war in Eastern Europe. The challenges seem so great that you may feel overwhelmed. You may have feelings of powerlessness. So what can you do as individuals to take on these significant questions and to make a difference? So let me offer 2 small examples for you and our valedictorian. 50 years ago, a young social worker from Philadelphia, concerned about the hunger and food insecurity that she was seeing in her low-income neighborhoods, published a small paperback book called Diet for a Small Planet. This was one of the original copies. 50 years ago, I was an undergraduate student. Frances Moore Lepay's argument was that universal access to healthy and sustainable diets would provide a global springboard for a better environment, more functional democracies, stronger economies, and increased social justice. Moore Lepay was not a vegetarian, but it seemed obvious to her that growing plants for consumption was far more cost-effective and eco-conscious than raising animals for food. The book reflected her deep concern that our small, highly interconnected planet was failing in its responsibilities to meet the fundamental needs of people to have enough healthy food. The connection between healthy food and strong democracies may seem obvious to us today, but at the time of Diet for a Small Planet, it was considered radical and dangerous. Moore Lepay's ideas and arguments were attacked by the large food processing companies, by agribusinesses, and by the meat industry. At the same time, her vision influenced a new generation of farmers, cooks, and restaurateurs. The farm-to-table movement, community-supported agriculture, sustainable farming, and organic farming can all be traced back to the revolutionary vision contained in this small paperback. It sold millions of copies, and it was just reissued in its 50th year anniversary. It was a vision of hope and possibility, and it called for the courage for us to act individually and collectively. Let me give you another very small example closer to home. A few years ago, Canada's largest bakery created a sustainability team to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and divert waste from landfills. One of the company's suppliers raised the issue of these small plastic bread tags. Could you replace the small plastic bread tag with something more sustainable? They seem so small that most people don't even think about them, but the company knew if you laid these small red plastic tags side by side, in 1 year, they would reach from Vancouver to St. John's, Newfoundland, and back. That's a lot of single-use plastic. Replacing it took considerable trial and error. They couldn't compromise on the quality of the bread packaging or they'd create more food waste. But eventually they came up with a bread tag made out of 100% recyclable cardboard that was itself both recyclable and compostable. And this month, they've transitioned to fully using these small new bread tags. So 2 small changes, both have the potential to make a huge difference. So what will you do with your McMaster degree? What will your passion be? Global warming, or maybe inequality, or social justice, or medicine, or health, or technology? But given the pace of change, it may involve a challenge that you haven't even imagined. So how do you prepare for that? I would argue you look back at your years at McMaster, and I hope you'll see the answer. You prepare by being curious, by being resilient, collaborative, ambitious, and determined, and by challenging assumptions and focusing on facts, by making courageous choices. I encourage you, as you celebrate this important milestone, to take some time to think about your contributions to a better, brighter world. Whatever your area of study, your McMaster education has equipped you with the tools to solve critical problems and to make a significant impact on our community. I am confident that you'll take your experience and your insight that you've gained living through this pandemic, and that you'll create a world worth having. And finally, the degree, when you receive your diploma, you'll note that there's only one name on it, yours. I suspect that many people have helped you get to this point of your graduation, so I hope you'll take some time to thank the people in your life who helped you get here. The end of your studies and the granting of your degree may feel as though you're crossing the finish line, but you're actually just beginning. I wish you the very best on your journey. Welcome to the worldwide community of McMaster alumni.
Thank you, President Farrar. May I invite our Chancellor, Ms. Santee Smith, back to the podium to deliver her closing remarks.
Yamo for your words, President Farrar. And I would like to say one thing, Yoyanale. Yoyanale in Gaingeha translates to something like good job or well done. So Yoyanale to everyone. And I wanted to share that with you. If you can repeat after me, and we'll say it together for everyone. Yo, Yan, A, Le. All together. Yoyanale. Congratulations. Nicole and Dr. Simmons, Yoyanale, congratulations on all of your achievements. And as Ms. Saruja said eloquently, you are now all graduates and members of a wonderful McMaster alumni family. And McMaster has a way of calling you back to return to extend your friendships and collaborations, so I hope to see you here in the future as well. President Farrar, thank you for your words. We heard a lot of great words today. I hope you take all the wisdom that you listened to with you in the future. All the best wishes to you all. Now in closing, I have a few final announcements. A reception will be held for the graduates and their guests in the Wentworth Room in the Convention Center immediately following the ceremony. I also encourage all graduates and guests to make their way up to the mezzanine level where a number of photo opportunities have been set up in and outside of the Great Hall. Finally, I would ask that you please remain standing at your seats until the academic procession and the graduates have left the hall. Please now join in the singing of the national anthem, and after the singing of the anthem, this convocation stands adjourned. Congratulations.